speaking of keeping you up to date on everything, just the other week, we talked about Black Lives Matter protest in supporting this young man named Andrew Sundberg, who shot through a door into a mother's apartment who has black children, by the way. And Black Lives Matter thought it would be a good idea to protest him being shot by the police because he had a weapon and was acting crazy, shooting at a mother with kids and at police, which we'll get to in a second because we have body cam footage released. They thought it was a good idea to protest. Well, the mom showed up that was shot at and just went berserk on them, yelling at them, and rightfully so, because it shows the contradiction. It shows that you have some people who go, I can't believe that you're willing to support this guy who just shot at me and my young children who are black as well, but you were never to be found when this guy was clearly going through mental illnesses, bursting his music loud, going through some serious problems. You were never around. And we see this consistently from the Black Lives community. They're nowhere to be found. They're not actually there to help the black community, which is why in some areas, like the video we showed the other week with the guy with the bullhorn shouting out in protest of the police brutality, and with the body cam footage released and all this other stuff, you got the landscaping all shellacked, all messed up. How about you invest a little bit in your communities? If you're not going to invest in these young men and women who live within those communities, at least do a little bit of damn landscaping. But no, they want to spend $6 million on a freaking mansion, multiple mansions, and say it's for black content, black creator content, which isn't even being utilized. So we finally have the body cam footage of this coming out, and it just supports, again, the police officers doing their job right, protecting the citizens, protecting the community, and it just shows how dumb Black Lives Matter is for going out and supporting this guy that freaking shot at police as well as the young woman with kids. Let's go ahead and roll this tape from CBS Minnesota.
Investigators say newly released videos show Minneapolis police officers under fire.
But their body cameras failed to capture the end of last week's standoff when snipers took the life of 20-year-old Tekle Sundberg. Our John Laurison's here with what those police videos do show. John?
Frank, a spokesman says investigators poured over hours of Minneapolis police body cam footage. Today they showed reporters the first moments officers arrived on scene and the final moments of a more than 6-hour standoff. 4 minutes after a Minneapolis police officer arrives on scene, you hear 3 gunshots fired through an apartment door.
Police department. Shots fired. Shots fired.
Minutes later, police are able to get Arabella Yarbrough, the woman who called 911, and her 2 small children out of their apartment safely. Yarbrough says Tekle Sundberg was shooting through her door, and she talked with WCCO on Friday.
Just got pictures, too, that it went through my bedroom. So me and my kids were in the bedroom at the time, and I was on the floor. For several hours, police attempted to talk Sundberg into coming out peacefully. At times, he can be seen leaning outside of his apartment, holding a cell phone.
Mr. Sundberg, we need you to come out and cooperate with us. We don't want to hurt you, we just want to go home. He is threatening to shoot the officers, and he's breaking out some of his windows.
Then more gunshots can be heard coming from the apartment.
There's a gunshot. 109 shots fired, 2 shots so far.
A neighbor shared this video with us last week of Sundberg's final moments. He's seen breaking out a window, and witnesses think he has something in his hand.
He got a gun knife. Oh my God. He's got a knife.
The end of the police video shows officers Pearson and Seraphine positioned on a rooftop across the street.
Gun. Gun.
But it does not capture Sundberg getting shot. Police are asking anyone with videos of the standoff to share them with the BCA. Sundberg's family says he struggled with mental health and was likely in crisis. Interim Police Chief Amelia Huffman said officers worked toward a peaceful resolution. She thanked them for their service and bravery under fire.
It just goes to show you that Black Lives Matter will protest anytime a black person is shot by the police. Regardless of the evidence, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of what happened, it's always the police's fault, which is why they'll be out there in the streets protesting the police while they'll be supporting a guy that literally shot multiple times through a door at the police, who said that they were the police, shot at a woman multiple times in her apartment with her kids who were black as well, shot out of a window in his apartment, was given multiple opportunities to come down peacefully, didn't want to do it. So when he shot dead, they're all up in arms because of, oh, they could have done this, oh, they could have done that, coulda, woulda, shoulda. How about what that guy could have done? Maybe he couldn't have shot at police. Maybe he couldn't have shot at an apartment. Maybe he couldn't have shot out his window or broken the window or held everybody up and done everything that he did. But again, Black Lives Matter doesn't want to talk about it. They just want to go out and protest and do crazy things and say crazy things and try to appease a certain base that believes in some fictitious world where America is institutionally racist. It's so mind-boggling, this organization, and that they're still getting funding. They get millions of dollars in charity donations to spend on a $6 million mansion amongst white people that they hate and don't like, according to the Marxist leaders from the organization itself. And there's upwards of like $60 million that just gone missing. But again, nobody wants to talk about that. Everybody just wants to keep pouring in an organization where you're not actually seeing any benefit or return. I mean, when you look at the video of Black Lives Matter protesting this whole incident, just look at the landscaping. At the very least, if they're not going to invest in that person that clearly had mental health issues, Black Lives Matter was nowhere to be found then. Why don't you just invest it in your own community then by upgrading your landscaping and give some of the money back to the community that's given it to you? Because clearly you ain't giving it to these young black men or women that are committing crimes or getting shot by police, or maybe go over some sort of treatment to help them with their decision making, to not make multiple series of decisions that lead to their death. We can't talk about any of those things. We just need to push this crazy ass narrative where police are gunning down black men in the streets, hands up, don't shoot, all this crazy stuff. It's just, Black Lives Matter is just a terrible organization. Everybody agrees with the general purpose. Black lives do matter. Their lives, I mean, race doesn't matter, just lives matter in general. There's some heinous people out there where their lives don't matter. But for the most part, white lives, Asian lives, black lives, Jewish lives, Muslim lives matter. But they're going to push this whole narrative that people just can't get behind because it's crazy, and the things that they support are crazy, and they'll continue to support crazy things. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.